All right. Good morning and happy Tuesday. I'm Elana, and we are on WGSN-DB, Going Solo Network Radio, TV, and Podcast #1 internet show. I'm your host, Elana, of Your Health Vibes with Elana, and I'm here today with one of my favorite people ever, Miss Carmen. And my journey is to raise your heart, body, and soul vibes to the next level so you can transform your life today. We have a very, very special show called Trust Your Intuition. And I'm here to introduce the one, the only, Carmen!
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. It means so much. And I'm just excited for the world to get to know us together.
Oh, well, thank you for having me. You're such a magical being, and I always appreciate our time together. So thank you for the invitation.
Thank you so much. And her voice is so magical, so everybody will just enjoy listening to her. No pressure. So I just want to kind of start off and just let the audience know who you are, where you came from, why you're doing what you do, and just shining that light.
Well, I'm Carmen Sima. I am an Ayurvedic practitioner, holistic medicine, and a clairvoyant, and an educator of chakra work, Vedic chakra, the authentic, original Vedic Indian system of the chakra.
Which is beautiful.
Yeah.
And Carmen, let me ask you, what made you kind of want to get into this? Like what kind of, just like maybe a little bit, and then we can kind of talk about a little bit more, but what kind of started it off?
Well, most of my life I worked in corporate America in marketing and advertising and sales and all of that. And my mom became ill. She had mental health and a lot of physiological imbalances, became stuck into the medical system, taking lots of medication. And through that, my family and I kept researching how can we support her, how can we support her. I found Ayurveda as a way of helping her balance herself with herbs and diet as opposed to just medicine, which was causing more implications in her health. And she was like a zombie. She was taking like 8 different medications and just they kept coming, and the symptoms and the side effects were just horrible. So that was the original catalyst that propelled me to learn holistic medicine.
And might add in, I've actually, Carmen has helped me with the stuff. So it's been really helpful trying to find stuff and just really grateful to see what's going on in my body. And it's really helped me heal and find what is right. Because I think so many times we're given the wrong information, or, we think we're all the same or this or that, but we all have different,
constitution.
Yes. Do you want to maybe say something a little bit about that?
Sure. The basis of Ayurveda is basically understanding that we're all unique on the inside, just the way we're unique and we appear different on the outside.
Right.
Our constitution, our bioenergetics comes from the 5 great elements of nature. We are made from the same stuff that makes the universe, the 5 great elements, and the vibration of the elements expressed through us: fire, earth, water, air, ether. They blend into what we call in Ayurveda bioenergetics, or doshas, that express. So someone that has more fire energy will express more fire qualities. Someone that's more earthy will express more earthy qualities. And so there's a whole, way of system of learning that. But I got into Ayurveda basically because of my mother's illness. And then through manifesting and not consciously at the time, this is like 15 years ago, started to learn more about holistic medicine. And then in 2009, I signed up for University of Ayurveda, and I did a 2-year program. And 11 years later, this is my longest job I've ever had as an Ayurvedic practitioner.
And why do you think this has been like the best journey for you, or the job that really, in your intuition, what helped you kind of decide this, maybe like kind of asking, how do you connect? I think a lot of things of maybe a good question is, how do you connect to your intuition?
Yes. So through one of the questions that is asked of me a lot is, how do I connect to my intuition more? And Ayurveda, or any system of healing that is going to connect you to nature, is going to support your intuition, because intuition is really our brain. It's the brain hemisphere, more specifically the right brain hemisphere. And so your intuition is enhanced when your brain is functioning better. And so when you are working through any holistic system,
Yeah.
Ayurveda, Chinese medicine, any of the authentic traditional
Mhm.
holistic that connect you to nature, to the seasons, and to eating a diet that is wholesome and nutrition and seasonal, your gut bacteria is going to be more optimal.
Okay.
And so your gut health
Mhm.
and your brain health, as we have learned
Yes,
in modern times,
yes.
they're connected. But even 7,000 years ago, the Vedic teachings state that when your gut is doing well, your intuition is going to be more enhanced.
Ooh,
So
yeah, I really like that, because I think so many times we don't realize the food we're putting in our body, or, trusting. And a lot of times I get this feeling like I should trust, and you should really like listen, or your first, instinct
Yes.
of trusting that intuition,
Yes.
With that too, kind of talking about other things. What are like some ways, I feel like a lot of times we can get blocked, and then, then having your true self show up and be authentic. So what are some ways when you're feeling blocked, how you can kind of trust your intuition and what to do, maybe some tips on that?
Yes. So my message is always very practical. As a clairvoyant psychic, people come to me for intuitive readings, as
Yes.
your whole family
Yes,
has, right?
my whole family has come. I mean, the most magical thing to be able to connect with, others. And I was able to connect to my grandmother, and just getting answers. And it just, I felt so seen and heard, and just being able to trust. Going through you, I trusted you. It was like this beautiful, I call her my fairy godmother. Because she's so special. And you really like see someone, and you really truly dig deep to what is needed with that person.
So thank you for all of that.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that. The intuition portion of all of us, we're all intuitive. We all could access our intuition. But when we aren't eating well, we block our connection to our own inherent intuitive gift. And so my message is always very, very practical. You asked your original question, how did you get into this?
Yeah.
Originally, it was through my mother being ill and us wanting to help her. But once I learned about Ayurveda, I started to eat seasonally.
Oh, okay.
And it's a very practical thing, very organic thing, that to crave the things that are in season, because we are connected to nature, we're connected to Mother Earth. The things that are in season are going to be most balancing to our digestive system.
Oh, see, I wish we learned this in school, or like there's so many things like
but you're teaching us that.
Yes. So I'm teaching this,
and
you're spreading the love, and that's what I want to kind of share, is that we should share this information more. I think we need to start at a young age, and so that and it's not, because then I think we get into, you have to have this diet and you have to look this way, and it's how you're intuitive, what you need.
Yes.
It's not what this person, that person. It's like how to show up. And I love that you were guiding people and showing them that. And I think we need to just educate more. And that's what you're doing.
That's it. Education is so valuable. I spend most of my days educating people on how to eat. But the intuition, as this is about intuition. Yes. And why are we talking about food? Yeah. Because it's related. If our gut is doing well, particularly our right brain hemisphere, both brain hemispheres will be doing better, your logical side as well. But the intuition will feel more natural to you. So that gut feeling, you trusting your gut you will have that stronger connection with your own self. Okay. And it's like the second chakra and the third chakra, right? If you're not familiar with chakra, it's just energy system within your body. Your sacral and your solar plexus and your first chakra, the first three, where your central nervous system is, the first three from the root, sacral, and solar plexus. That's all your gut health, how grounded you feel, how relaxed you feel, how empowered you feel, how good you feel in your physical self. When your physical self is feeling well, then you are more available, relaxed, available to your own intuition, available to the universal, infinite intelligence, communication, your dialogue with God, if you connect to God or to the higher power, to the source, the force. Yeah. That infinite mind, intelligence becomes most available to you because you are relaxed. When you're relaxed is usually when you feel good, right?
That's very true. And you mentioned something about the right brain and stuff. Do you want to kind of talk about a little bit of that and what that relates? And, sometimes we're so head and gut, and how do they all relate to each other and whatnot?
So the gut health, which is like you feeling well digesting and
Yeah.
eliminating and all of that. When you're eating better, you're going to feel more relaxed. So the bacteria.
Mhm.
So here's a wonderful
Yes.
fun fact.
Fun fact.
About 90% of your neurons are
Yeah.
created in the gut.
What?
90%. And they travel through the vagus nerve. And so it is so important to eat well.
Mhm.
Here we go again,
Yeah.
talking about
Yeah.
it. Because that is how you will enhance your entire brain, your logical brain and your intuitive brain. But as we're connecting to intuition,
Mhm.
the right brain hemisphere is the dominant
Oh.
area of the brain that controls or where the intuition is experienced. So creative things, the creative mind, right?
Ooh,
That
yeah,
second chakra,
yeah.
the playfulness,
Yes.
the feminine energy. It is the intuition is coming from being receptive. We can't be receptive if we are stressed.
Ooh, I like that. I think being open, being receptive, there's so many times like, people talk to you, but if you're not going to be open and receptive to it, then you're going to block that. And I think so many times that's why our intuition is blocked, because we're not open. And I also like what you talked about, the feminine side of like, maybe you want to kind of.
So yes,
like
the right brain hemisphere is associated to more of the feminine energies, right? The feminine, the vibe, second chakra, sacral, the energy of water. And that receptivity comes from that association to being like water, like Bruce Lee said, right? He had something there. He was really onto something there. From the Vedic perspective, receptivity comes from our connection to the second chakra, which is associated to water. Being available, being soft, being gentle, being in the flow, that flow state. We're all now in modern times realizing the flow state is where it's all about.
And then talking about the chakra, I just want to give a little shout out. If you guys want to learn more about that, there's a special school that she does. And so you can check out her website and kind of learn more about the chakra and how, your intuition and certain things. So definitely a really great thing to check out as well. So just on a side note.
Thank you. The Vedic Chakra School, School. So the intuition really comes from us feeling it is enhanced. We all have intuition, but it is enhanced, and you could really enhance.
So how do you enhance it? Like, sometimes I feel like right now the world, like we could kind of, I'm all over the place, but with the moon and the connection, so kind of relating of that, but really showing up. I think that's the hardest thing is trusting. And I do that a lot. I think I know something or do, and I feel like blocked. And, so what, I know we're kind of reaching on that, but how do you really tap into what you're wanting?
A few tips to connect more to your intuition and to being in that feminine energy, that feminine flow is one, to take an opportunity to do things that help you feel relaxed, whatever that means to you. You could go on a bike ride, you could take an art class, creative outlets, second chakra things that bring pleasure to your life, bring joy, healthy sexual experiences.
I agree with that
absolutely.
Too.
I know you're
gonna
absolutely making sure you're creating time in your day to take it easy, to be like water, to be in the flow. If we're always regimented and we're working hustle and bustle and we have so much going on our calendar, we're stressed. Even if there are things we like doing.
Right. Do you think it's like society and that pressure?
Masculine energy.
Yeah, so I definitely feel that. I wanted to talk about
masculine energy.
I feel like I have so much masculine energy because it's like kind of like, I love you, Mom, but like her
Aries.
energy, it's like very, masculine energy. And then my dad, I felt, was more polarity of like flowy. And so showing up, it's like, you want to have your job, you want to take care of yourself. And with that, I feel like that we have a lot of women have that masculine polarity because of society.
Totally, that patriarchal energy. And also the time, right? That you mentioned your mom. That was the time that women were becoming independent and becoming more masculine was of liberation.
At
that time. And now we're learning to reel it back in and to bring back those feminine qualities of taking it easy, being in groups of women, expressing our feelings, being comfortable, being soft, emotional, vulnerable.
I love that. I think it's vulnerable and being open and honest and being authentic, because what I love about Carmen is like what you see on camera, you will get off camera. And she's not, I think it's so many times we want to show up and show society like, here, look at me on camera. But we need that authenticity. We need someone to be vulnerable and really show up. And I think that's what you offer, is so much beautifulness to that. And I think it's hard because exactly I love my mom, and what I'm so grateful is she told me to stand up for myself, and she had her women's groups, and I saw that was very important to her, that not only did she wasn't only a mom, she's a friend, but taking care of herself, too. And that's what we need to do, because
I love your mom.
I do. I am very blessed with my family. I really am grateful, and I'm glad that you got to meet them as well. And I think with all of this too, it's so helpful is learning these tips and people showing up, because all the generations are so different, and we put that pressure. And I think, it's just being scared, but opening up and being vulnerable, and truly, with that,
more tips about how to enhance your intuition.
Yes.
So some practical tips are spending time with yourself out, doing things that help you feel good. It doesn't have to be out. You could be indoors doing something relaxing, calming, soothing, something that brings you emotional wellness. Emotional wellness is very important, because that's a big part of your gut health, right? Whether you're stressed, holding on to tension or emotions, just giving yourself permission to be vulnerable, to be soft, to be gentle with yourself. Anything associated to things that are going to help you feel more flowy, like water, because again, that's the association to the gut. But also some practical tips you could do. Other practical tips is making sure you're taking your supplements, magnesium, vitamin D, your B12, your
We're drinking some great tea right now.
Yes, making sure you're connecting and getting those minerals into your body. Calcium, minerals, they're very grounding. If you're grounded, your whole central nervous system is going to function better. And your brain, where your third eye availability happens, is all about your nervous system.
And I like how you say grounded, because I was just talking to you about this morning. I feel like I'm all over the place right now, and just having some grounding just by talking to you, I feel more grounded. By drinking the tea, I feel more grounded. And, I kind of want to talk about a few other things too, is with the moon. So today we have a full moon in Virgo.
I love Virgos. Love all the signs.
Yes. My sister's a Virgo. Give a shout out, Steffi. So we're going to have to go on a quick break soon. So for the next minute, when we come back, we're going to be kind of talking about the moon, and also Carmen, how did you know that you were, psychic, and kind of with certain things of that, and trusting yourself and your intuition of going through. So I just wanted to say right now we're going to be going on a break. We're with Carmen, and I'm Elana Feldman, and we're watching Your Healthy Vibes. And don't go far, because we have some really, really good information coming up next. So stand up, shake what your mama gave you. I'm Elana, EF11CA@gmail. You can reach me at 562-235-8410 or yourhealthvibes.com. And we'll be back.
Hi, I'm John Thomas. I want to share with you a professional products and services directory we call Going Solo Directory. And you need to check this out. If you want exposure to your business or are seeking professional product or services, this directory has it all. And that membership, for the many special features, you get the benefit of a worldwide exposure with a 40-minute video interview on an international business show showcase. All this for just one low annual fee. For more information, contact GoingSoloDirectory.com.
Hi guys, we're back with WGSN-DB, Going Solo Network, radio, TV, and podcast, #1 internet talk network. I'm Elana, your host of Your Health Vibes, and we are with Carmen today, talking about trusting your intuition. Welcome back. I hope you got to stand up, you shake what your mama gave you, woo-woo, because today's Titty Tuesday. And so, yes, we're back. So we're going to start off and we're going to talk about a few things, the moon and connecting to that, because I think so many times we're like, oh, it's just the moon. You know, there's so many things of relation of how we're born, the connection of it, the groundingness of it. So I kind of want to talk about the Virgo moon and also your psychic abilities and kind of how you came about it.
Okay, to
I know, sorry, there's so
to
much.
your question, no, it's fine. To help the viewers that are wanting to enhance their intuition, it's always wonderful to have a connection to nature, to get out, to walk, to understand that earthing is so important and mooning is so important as well. We were just talking about earlier, we're in Pisces season. So how clever is the universe that it would bring us a very grounded Virgo full moon to help balance out all the emotions of Pisces season. We're connected. All the babies that are born right now, they're going to be Pisces because the essence of this time of year is going to be water vibes, emotional vibes, right? That planet controlling or bringing energy into the earth. So when we have a Virgo moon, it's a very balancing way that when we tune into the qualities of whatever moon is, it is like Virgo moon during Pisces season, that will help enhance your intuition as well. If you really are becoming receptive and available, like we spoke earlier, you will become more tuned into the seasons, the rhythms, the full moons. And so as Virgo is coming in this Pisces season, it gives us an opportunity to clean up our mess, to organize ourselves, to communicate very practical things, to look at the structure of our lives so that we are not caught up in the emotional mess that we can be caught up in sometimes, especially if you are a water dominant person, if you are a Pisces, a Cancer, Scorpio, or if you have a lot of water in your constitution. And so being more intuitive, the invitation of the full moon is to pay attention.
Ooh, I like that.
Pay attention. Like, what is this full moon teaching me? This is an opportunity to put things in order as we are embracing the emotions that Pisces season brings.
And I think having a little bit of compassion, you know,
Always
like I think so many times, I think right now, I think with the Virgo is a perfectionist and we want it to be, you know, perfect and things like that, to understand that kind of grace of like, nothing's perfect, but it's okay to, you know, be your best, but not put that pressure.
Also the reminder, Virgo reminds us that our divine essence is divine perfection, but our human self is imperfect. And that's the beauty. That. Being human gives us an opportunity to not be perfect because we already are divine perfection. Our
soul
self.
What are you talking about? I'm so perfect.
The soul self, the soul higher self is divine perfection. We are perfect. And
I really love how you say, like, I'm so just sorry to stop you, but talking about that higher level of that, can you maybe like brief on a little bit of like looking, just, you know, in a different perspective?
Just giving ourselves permission to understand that we are already divine perfection. If it's a Virgo full moon, realizing, oh, my higher self is already divine perfection. So my human self, I'm going to embrace and accept the parts of me that aren't imperfect because that is exactly what I wanted to work on in this incarnation.
I love that.
And then the second question is, how did I
psychic?
How did I learn that I was psychic?
We're like, I guess, when was like kind of maybe your earliest memory or something that you know, a special story that you would like to share with us? Like,
when I was in school, I didn't know anything about being psychic until I was a grown person. But when I was I didn't know. I thought everybody had these experiences. But when I was little and I would be sitting next to someone in the bus to go to school, I had my favorite people that I would sit next to because their images that I would pick up from their family were pleasant. And so I didn't know. And there were certain kids that I knew I couldn't sit next to because I would have an aversion, like my body, I would get stressed because they had issues at home, they had troubled parents, and it would just really stress me out. And I didn't know that I was picking up psychically on their home life. So I had my favorites. I had Edgar, a little boy that I would sit next to, and I loved him because he just was so grounded, and he had he just played at home, and I just always had the visions of him being loved. And so that was probably my first experience of having that psychic thing happen. And then as I got older and my corporate job, once I was giving a presentation in a marketing setting, and I saw the spirit of someone's family member that had passed away in the conference, and I freaked out. And it totally threw off my game. So little things like that would happen. But how it really became available was about maybe 7 years ago. I was doing a full moon meditation with a group of ladies. We were just doing beautiful group of ladies, the illuminators, and they invited me to do a full moon ceremony meditation. And during that experience, I saw a spirit of a little girl run in front of me. And one of the ladies called me on it. She said, "You just saw a ghost." And I was like, "Oh my God, what was that?" And then all of a sudden I looked up and I saw spirits around everyone. And I even saw tall aliens. The greys, the tall whites. I forgot what they're called, but they were really tall. They were white, translucent, and it was an incredible feeling. And but I was scared.
I was going to ask, did that scare you?
Oh, I was scared because I was embarrassed. Like, oh, they're going to think I'm crazy.
Right.
Because I would see spirits here and there, but I would resist it and reject it. I was like, nope. And then when that happened, my partner at the time, John, he knew that I had to do that. And he just gave me a nod, like, go for it. Tell them.
Do it.
And I did. And I did a reading for like 18, 20 people. It took me 3 hours to read all of the spirits that were with them. And that was the first time I channeled for all of those people. And it was during a full moon. It was nuts. And then the next day I was like spent. I couldn't get out of bed because their frequency is different than our frequency.
Right.
So that was the first time it became available in that setting. But I had throughout my whole life, like, ghosts come and visit me. Oh, I had so many spirits and visit me.
And I've been blessed because my whole family has gotten readings, and it makes me emotional. I've been able to like truly connect and just get beautiful answers. And like, I have one grandma who's left right now, but like to be able to connect to my elders on the other side has been one of the most magical, beautiful things that you can give to me, because I think sometimes people think it's kooky or this or that. Like, it is so real. It is so meaningful to be able to have closure, to be able to ask questions. And like, as I said, what you give to someone is one of the best gifts I think I could have ever received. So gracious for that. And with all this, what made you want to go forward? Because I know you said it was kind of scary at first but I'm so blessed that this didn't scare you to where you didn't continue, because what you give to someone, as I said, is one of the best gifts anybody could receive.
Thank you. That gratitude and that available, how people shift after that experience is the reason why I continued, and I resisted it throughout my whole life.
I'm in need of a reading. I won't be paid till next week, but I had a hard week of closure about my mother. I really just need answers. I'm sorry, Rita, that you are going through all this, and you can definitely connect with Carmen. There's all that information, and just sending you so much love and light.
It was meant for her to listen.
Very meant. So thank you for listening.
I'm sending you so much love and prayers, and know that she's with you 100%. She's with you. Just breathe into the awareness that she's there with you, embracing you, and trust that she is listening to what you have to say to her.
And that's what I love.
I'll be in touch with you.
It's Carmen is like showing you to trust. Like, she's allowed me to trust my intuition, and being able to trust myself is a great gift, because I think so many times we doubt ourselves and we doubt that intuition. And it's so neat that you see that in someone else, and that you can show them that it's there, which I really love.
Yes.
So also, with the craziness of the moon, I don't know if you have some tips for the full moon of how, I'm sure, the world, everybody.
Just embrace it, take a break, drink lots of water. The full moon is just an opportunity. The reason why it's full is because it's facing the sun. So it's really the energy of the sun that touches the moon and comes to us. So for some people, it can be very triggering. For some people, if we're triggered, it's because we have work to do. It's an opportunity.
That's what I would ask you about the triggers, because I know I've been triggered to talking to a lot of people. So it's definitely showing up for ourselves. So when we're getting these triggers, do you have any tips too of not to take it so personally, of like, or maybe sorry to throw this off. Maybe it's not your own energy. Sometimes I feel I'll go somewhere and I'm super happy, but then I'm trusting, and then I come home and I'm like, why am I so drained? And why, so how's a way to protect yourself when you're out in these craziness and trusting your intuition that maybe that's not your shit?
It's always our shit.
Gotcha.
It's always our shit, because it means that we need to take better care of ourselves so that we are our own protection.
Ooh, I like that, because
it's a reminder that we need to ground more. We need to take care of ourselves. We need to do emotional wellness, maybe see a therapist, or learn on a book, like, why am I being triggered? The triggers in the Vedic teachings, we call them vrittis. They're real things. They are an opportunity for you to see, why is this causing me to feel this way? And sometimes, like you said, I want to just share that sometimes you are absorbing other people's energies as empaths.
Yes, and so that's why I went more is like absorbing that. You are I know that the trigger is the work on you, but sometimes
the absorption is an opportunity for more self-care, more downtime, better diet, more hydration, better exercise routines, tuning into. And I know, because I went once to Costco and I felt so drained afterward, and I realized I'm not taking enough of my supplement regimen hasn't been consistent.
So signs from the universe.
Or maybe it's an opportunity for us to realize that if we are empathic, we have an obligation to ourselves to be more consistent with our self-care.
Ooh, I like that. I definitely. And then
more empowered.
And then also feeling that empowerment, of how do you take that or share that empowerment without, sometimes I feel like not entitlement. Like people are like, oh, I'm more like here. We're like, what is a good way to feel grounded where it's not, I feel like everybody's in competition. Everybody's trying to do all these things.
A lot of people are, and it's okay. It's about acceptance. We came here to have the human experience, and do your roaring and let someone else, if they're judging you, that's on them. You do your roar anyway.
So how do you, that's a good thing too. I think a lot of times in these situations when we're trying to heal, not taking things personally.
The more we love ourselves, the more capacity we have to accept others. The more it's an invitation to do the work, to self-accept, to accept, and to understand people are different. Some people are going to roar this way. Some people are not going to roar at all. And that person that isn't roaring doesn't mean they're not empowered.
Yes.
They may be not roaring because they're doing their self-care.
100%.
There's a lot of roarers that are rowing with an empty vessel.
I agree with that.
So
when your vessel is empty, is there like, can you, like, so I would say sometimes when you give so much and then your vessel is empty, I love that your little facts, go on a walk, call for friends. And I think too, you don't have to be alone, everyone. So, I cry if someone else cries. I don't even have to know what happened. Is that normal? Do you want to?
Well, if it's an opportunity, you're feeling empathic. It's reminding you perhaps of some sadness that you may have. It is an opportunity to be empathic, and that's okay. But if it's happening like all the time where it's affecting your life, then it's always an invitation to more self-care, ground, take care of yourself. And I get it. That was me all of my life. But now I'm able to hold space in a way where I'm not affected as much, even though I am definitely empathic. I have a Cancer moon, I have a Scorpio, so lots of water, lots of empathy, lots of feels. And I have learned that the more I stabilize my central nervous system, I could hold space with compassion and still have empathy, but not have the emotional break, which it still happens. I say this and I just cried the other day just sending a message to someone that was going through a hard time.
I do that too.
That doesn't mean that it's okay. That means you have an open heart and you're compassionate. That's okay. But if it's happening to the point where it's like affecting your life and you just can't do other things and can't be stable, then we just need to work on our own, what's going on within us.
And I love that you say that, because I think so many times we blame, well, this person triggered and so it's them doing this, and really having to be authentic and look and say, okay, there's a little bit more work, and how can I work on this, but having that compassion to work on it, you know?
It's always an invitation to do more self-acceptance. Triggers are okay. They're important. If we weren't triggered, life wouldn't be so blissful.
Right. Nothing's perfect, and there's ebbs and flows, and you have, there's so many different parts to life.
And as you have the trigger, it encourages you to do something, right? It's like a little hit, like, like when I get triggered, I realize that I need to love myself more. When my partner triggers me or my ex-partner triggers, I gotta love myself more. I used to be very jealous with him, very, very jealous, Scorpio jealousy, you know? And then I realized it's an invitation for me to be so secure within myself so that when I see him talking and having that conversation with someone, it doesn't make me feel triggered. And it works. And I would not imagine that would ever work because I'm a Scorpio. I would always be insecure, not insecure, but just like territorial.
Right.
Like, why is he talking to her?
Yes.
And now it's like, go do the thing.
Do your thing.
Do your thing. I have so much faith in myself. If you ever do go out and do something, that's your loss.
And I love that you say that you have faith in yourself. And it's true. It's what comes from inside of you, you know, like you're the one who, you know, my mom always says you have a choice. You have a choice of how you can show up. And there's a lot that is going on, but you have that choice to do. And I think the beautiful thing of what you said, loving yourself, you know, inviting yourself, like, I know I give so much love to everyone. And sometimes I need to sit back and say, okay, Elena, you need to love yourself the way that, you know, and so when that inner critic and trusting my intuition, knowing like it's going to be okay.
Oftentimes we give what we need.
Yes.
Like me, I need a lot of downtime. I need a lot of alone time. So I am not the type of person that goes and reaches out to people because I feel like that's intrusive. I don't want to intrude on someone else's downtime.
Right.
But what you need is people checking up on you a lot.
Right. Because,
so then you're going to go check up on people because that's what you like.
Right.
Right.
Yes. And I love that you said that because we all have our different needs and wants, and I love to check on people, and I don't do it because I want it, you know, or to like to look up, but it is nice to have someone say, hey, how's your day going? Just out of nowhere.
To you, that feels wonderful.
To me, that feels wonderful. You know, like to someone else, it could be very intrusive. You know?
Or they like don't need it.
They don't need that.
They don't need it because they're doing their jam. Just good. They're
doing their jam.
They're doing their jam. They're in the flow. They're in their state of mind where they feel nourished. They're doing things that nourish them. So that's an invitation for you. But it also is your personality.
Right. And that's what I tell people. Like, I don't like to text. Like, I like to do my voice messages because I feel that's how I connect. When someone can hear my voice opposed to like text, like, how are you? It's like, how are you, babe? Like, you know, in a different energy.
It picks up your energy.
But
and that's okay too. That's okay too.
Yeah.
That's an opportunity for us. That's another topic.
Yeah, another topic.
But it's also learning that trusting our intuition too. Like, is my friend, if like for yourself, is my friend not checking up on me because they don't love me or because that they're just doing their jam?
Right. And
it doesn't mean that they don't love you.
And I think that's so sorry. It's not taking it personally. Like they're busy, they're this, they're whatever.
They may not even be busy.
Right. Not busy, but
they may just be doing their jam.
Doing their jam.
They're doing their jam. But that's when you communicate to your friend, hey friend, if we're gonna be friends, this is something I would like once in a week. Can we check in? And just having that conversation. So that way you are asking for what you need, you know, and then your friend has the choice to say, that's not my personality type, or I can do that. I can check in once a week.
And I love that you say that, and being vulnerable with your friend, because I feel in a friendship, you should be honest and should be vulnerable and should be able to ask what it is. And if that doesn't relate, then that's okay. And it's okay to love someone and be two different people, but maybe not have that type of relationship because it doesn't
trust your feelings. And the more you take care of yourself, the more you will attract friends that will take care of you.
Ooh, you know, what you kind of
that will have more reciprocity. Reciprocity of just like you'll manifest people that will be more harmonious for you because you're loving yourself more. So you're gonna manifest people that are gonna show up for you, and so it's never about the other. It's about how we show up for ourselves. Really, truly.
I like that.
Really, truly.
So we're going to be wrapping up soon. Do you have any more tips or anything that you want to share, or like kind of last minute?
An herb recommendation.
Yeah.
For your intuition.
Yes. Yeah.
How about that?
Yes.
One of my favorite herbs to support people that want to become more intuitive is an Ayurvedic herb called Brahmi. B as in boy, RAHMI. Why? The only contraindication is if you're pregnant, nursing, or if you have low blood pressure. Other than that, it should be safe, generally speaking, for most people. But Google it. Brahmi. BRAHMI. The reason that it is good for your intuition is because it is good for your brain. So it helps remove the poop of the brain so that you feel more clarity of mind. So your logical side will also be enhanced, not just your right side, right, left, right hemisphere. So your third eye, your whole brain is going to feel better. If you suffer from ADHD, anxiety, stress, this is a wonderful herb for grounding and for nourishment to the brain. And you could take it daily. It's a very gentle herb, and it's ideal. And it's good for mental focus and clarity, and it also prevents Alzheimer's and any central nervous system imbalances as we get older. Like, it's really good for memory.
And actually, also, what is this tea that we've been drinking?
Because
I love this tea too.
So this is a Tulsi blend with Brahmi.
Ooh.
Because I know,
yes, I needed
we wanted to make sure we felt grounded.
Exactly.
So I was like, let me make a special blend.
Yes.
And I hope you like it. It tastes wonderful.
It does.
It's not a bad herb flavor. It's a wonderful herb, and it is. You could also look into Tulsi, which is holy basil in English. Different than the one you use to cook, but it's wonderful. And so I made a blend today, special blend for Elana.
And it's so special.
It's so
it's so tasty because, sometimes I'm not really into all the tea, all that, but this is good. I feel grounded. And I truly, I'm not just saying that. I feel different. I came in a little bit and then
full moon
vibes. And then I, got to take this, and just being around you is just so grounding.
You're lovely.
I love you.
Love you. And good vibes to your
I just wanted to thank Carmen for being on here. Please reach out to her. She's amazing, incredible, and just makes your heart and soul so happy. And today we are trusting your intuition with Carmen, and I'm Elana with Your Healthy Vibes. And you can reach Carmen at...
I'm in Long Beach, Mother Earth Ayurveda. You could also just Google Carmen Sima. I also have that one, and they connect to the same website.
And so, and you are watching GoingSoloMedia.com, and also you can WGSN-DB, Going Solo Network, radio, TV, and podcast #1 internet talk show network. Woo woo! I'm Elana, EF11CA@gmail.com, 562-235-8410, yourhealthvibes.com. I hope you have a beautiful day. Blessed for you to be here. And also, you're never alone. So please reach out, and you can join me on bi-weekly at 12 o'clock, raising your vibration, your heart, body, mind, and soul. Shake what your mama gave you. Woo!